Before we get to the movie, I want to tell you about my first kiss.
No.
It happened when I was about 4 years old.
Okay.
The story involves horror movies. I was on vacation at Mickey's Sunset Bay Resort, which I've talked about on the show before, on the shores of Boone Lake. I'm running around doing my thing. There's this little girl, curly-haired blonde girl. She's cute as a button. I think her name was Tabitha.
Mm-hmm.
I could be conflating her with the daughter on Bewitched. Not positive. We would swim in the water, and we'd play little games that kids play.
Mm-hmm.
One of these games was called Vampires. We would run around in the woods, and we would bite imaginary people and suck out their blood, and then we would run back and deposit the blood in the blood bank, which was the tail light of my dad's pickup truck.
Makes sense. 4-year-old logic, yeah.
During this game, one of us got the idea that before we put it in the tail light, we had to transfer the blood between our mouths. I say it was my first kiss. I think it was kisses like 1 through 8.
Good day for you.
And I think eventually either my mom or her mom saw what was going on and said, why don't you kids go play something else? Was your first kiss that adorable?
No. September 10th, 1989, I remember that. I was old enough to write it down. Although it was really a kiss in jest.
Those count.
Oh yeah, totally counted, totally counted.
You weren't playing a weird vampire game with her?
No. Not yet.
I've got a bunch of movies that I've never seen before. You don't know what they are. Every episode I'm going to spring one on you. It might be good, it might be bad. We'll watch it and talk about it. Welcome to the basement. It's October, Craig, the spooky month of Halloween and the month where we watch scary movies. Do I have a scary story for you in this envelope? No, I do not. I have 3, because we're watching Tales from the Darkside.
The movie?
Released in 1990, TFTD stars Deborah Harry, William Hickey, David Johansen, James Remar, Ray Don Chong, and Basement alums Robert Klein, Christian Slater, and Steve Buscemi, who looks like an adolescent on that DVD cover.
Oh my God, that's him. I didn't recognize one of my favorite actors on the cover right here.
And making her big screen debut, Julianne Moore. The director is John Harrison. The film features 3 different horror tales based on stories by Arthur Conan Doyle, Stephen King, and Japanese folklore. King's The Cat from Hell, adapted for the screen by George Romero, was supposed to be in Creepshow 2 in 1987, but was cut for budgetary reasons. Many people, including Romero cohort Tom Savini, see this film as the 3rd installment of the Creepshow trilogy. For your gift, I have a little something that might just crawl out of the darkness and get you.
Ah, no! It's a tarantula. A heavy tarantula. This is far heavier than they are in real life.
You could kill a man with that.
Yeah, you probably could. Look, I'm Peter Brady.
Get rid of that tiki idol.
Taboo!
Turn off all the lights and tiptoe on over to the old leather couch where we have some tales to tell you. Tales from the Darkside.
This is a nice piano.
Tales from the Darkside, the movie of the TV show. A woman comes home from a long day of shopping. That old-timey broom leaning in the corner should tell you that that is a witch.
Call me! There's going to be a dinner party that night.
And this little boy is the main course. Help! One way or another, she found him and got him. The boy, Timmy or Tommy or whatever, doesn't really matter.
Help! There's a crazy woman in there! There's a crazy woman that you're gonna eat me! Evisceration? What does that mean?
It's like gutting a fish. First you make a long slit.
More like Debbie Scary. Wait, don't cook me yet, because look at this big book of stories. Tales from the Darkside, the book of the movie of the show? It's got some good ones in there. Sure, I like stories.
Part 1, Lot 249.
Andy and Lee are college boys, but Andy's not happy because his roommate, Edward Bellingham, is a nerd.
Ah, Andy.
What's the rumpus? Bellingham is in hot water with someone.
I was accused of stealing a pre-Columbian Zuni fetish from the museum.
But he doesn't want no Zuni artifact.
I loathe Zuni aesthetics.
Of course you do. What he does have is a big box labeled Lot 249, and inside is a sarcophagus. And inside the sarcophagus is a mummy.
Is that William Hickey? For those of you who don't know who William Hickey is, that's a solid joke.
I'll show you out.
The door is right where you're walking toward.
We meet Susie. Turns out she's the one who stole the artifact.
To frame Edward, for some reason. What do you do when you've got a mummy in your dorm room? You start dissecting it immediately. Edward gives Andy a little lesson about mummification. Mummification.
First thing the embalmers did was to stick a metal hook up his nose. Then they dragged his brain out through his nostrils.
You take out all the viscera and you replace it with aromatic flowers. Whoa, and this? A scroll with evil words on it.
He has a fireplace in his dorm room. I went to a state school. I did not get that.
Later on, Andy's watching TV, and Edward is reading that scroll out loud. The thing that you should never do with ancient scrolls.
I really mean this. Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
That mummy wakes up.
The lights in the dorm blow out.
Someone shut off the power, man. Susie's going over to visit Edward.
Would you like some brandy?
Thank you.
I don't have any. Could you run out and get some? And she plants that fetish in his room to get him into trouble. Lee is at home alone, and the mummy comes into the house. Get away from me, you dusty daddy! And gives him the old hook up the nose treatment. Pull out the brains, the way that mummies are familiar with.
He just paid through the nose. When Susie gets back home, she finds the body and she sees the killer leaving.
Bye! Yeah! Rock and roll! Darn phone, always saving my life.
If only I could carry my phone on me.
The mummy goes back to Edward's dorm room. Hey, what's up? Bellingham has his own pet boogity man. Later on, the mummy gets Susie.
Thank you. This reminds me of my belly.
Ooh, it's gruesome, but it smells nice. It's so grotesque and fragrant in here. Oh man, the power's out. Hey! Wedgie. Edward is knocked unconscious. He wakes up and he's all tied up. You killed my best friend and his sister.
I'm going to start a little fire under your chair and roast your nuts. Oh, Andy, you're crazy.
Look into your heart. Wait, wrong guy. I know that spell by heart. I'm going to bring my mummy back to life. But Andy's got an electric knife. He sees that mummy coming and he cuts off a bunch of his limbs.
Jesus.
And now the mummy's dead. Like for real dead. Not the dead before where you come back from the dead. But now he's just dead, period. Teenage homicide. Don't do it. And he burns the scroll. Well, I guess I don't have to kill you now, so I'll let you go. The scroll that Andy burned was not the mummy scroll. It was a different one. And now he's got the scroll, and he can use its magic to continue to do mischief.
Bellingham sends his regards.
Well, that was a good story. I'm getting hungry.
But I haven't told you the best story yet.
You have to make it quick.
It's about this old man Drogan.
Old Man Drogan. Part 2. Cat from Hell.
You are Mr. Halston, aren't you?
Mr. Halston, a hitman. I want you to kill someone for me.
Your victim is right behind you.
No, Sadie!
That cat has killed 3 people in this household. That leaves me.
William Hickey is the living embodiment of this. The butler tried to chase him off, but my sister Amanda insisted on feeding it and keeping it. Drogan is the man who owns Drogan Pharmaceuticals. He got rich off of this drug that is very habit-forming.
That stuff's one step up from street junk.
And I know all about street junk. I used to be in the New York Dolls.
And they did all of their testing on cats. Thousands of cats they've killed. And so Mr. Drogon has decided that any cat comes into the house is going to try to kill us.
My sister was the first to die.
She was killed by a mummy. Sadie and Cecil have nearly done this to me. I couldn't tell you how many times.
Why didn't you get rid of the cat then?
I tried, Mr. Halston. I tried.
Mwah.
Caroline is suffocated somehow with a cat. Oh! Tona, Tony, the cat's got Matt's head again.
Lock the cat up and have it euthanized. But before that can happen... Car crash. Hector Salamanca is now dead, and the cat comes back to the mansion.
That fire is hot, hot, hot.
I am leaving. You got the run of the house. Kill that cat. Halston goes and makes himself a drink, and the cat runs and gets him. Boogity boo!
Hey, you little motherfucker!
Can't get hot.
Hot, hot. Come to the pot and know what they got. I'm hot.
This is shit.
Cat scratch fever.
The cat comes out of nowhere and gets him in the shorts area.
Crotch attack!
He takes out the big hardware, the gun with the laser sight.
I cannot wait, you little shit.
It's me, the little shit. He trims the laser sight right on the kitty's little head.
But somehow it misses.
That's not possible. I know, I saw Terminator. I know how these laser sights work.
Now you know that the cat is eventually going to kill the hitman, but you probably didn't expect it this way. Cats will do this. This is something they don't tell you about cats, but cats will kill you this way.
Vengeful pussy. Drogon comes back home.
Always having kittens. Here comes the cat, coming out the same way it came in.
And he has a heart attack and dies. The cat wins. My, that was a good story too. I got another story.
Part 3. Lover's Vow.
Preston is a failing artist. He goes to a bar to meet his agent, Wyatt.
Preston gets fired by his agent.
I can't live on 10% of nothing.
I can't even live on 20% of nothing. Give me 90% of nothing, I still can't live on it. Preston gets drunk. The bartender says, let me take you home. Let's go into this dark alley. Oh, the spooky fog of inspiration is about to hit, but it comes with a price.
The bartender is killed by this thing.
A monster. Please don't kill me.
If I let you go, you must swear you'll never say you saw me. Never say you heard me speak. Never tell anyone how I look.
Never describe the articulation of my mouth.
I promise.
Whoosh. It disappears. Suddenly, there's a beautiful woman running through the alley. Hey, Don Chong.
You gotta get off the streets. It's not safe out here.
My name is Preston. I live just around the corner.
You can trust me. I told you my first name. He shows her around the place. She says, I've never met an artist before.
And things go well in a naked way. We knew she... You know the... All right.
Her name is Carola. He's inspired. He starts making more art. Just went home and got my fringes.
I'm friends with a gallery owner.
She owns a gallery down on Houston Street.
It's Houston Street.
She also has a gallery in Soho.
You know, by the Empire State Building.
And a short time later, Preston has a gallery showing. His art career is taking off.
He has this really good relation going with Carola. He never tells her or anyone about the monster thing that he saw. You know, personally, I'm not feeling good just talking about the monster thing to you guys. Carola says... Carola. She's a Toyota.
She's pregnant. All those nights of relentless raw dogging have paid off.
Will you marry me?
Well, I am an otherworldly creature, which you don't know yet, but you're going to find out soon.
Boogie, boogie, boogie. I'm watching you have sex, Preston.
10 years later.
They've got 2 kids, and Preston's art career is never better than it is now.
There's nothing you could give me that I don't already have.
I could put another kid in that ass.
I can tell you a secret.
No one has ever seen this.
Zip. It's from the Todd McFarlane collection. So he decides to go against the monster's wishes and to tell his wife all about what happened in that alley.
10 years of success, 10 years of a perfect life.
Anna put 2 kids up in there.
You promised you'd never tell!
She's been the monster the whole time. You didn't see that coming. Nobody would have seen that coming.
Her skin starts erupting. Pieces come out of her body.
Not even certain what's popping out of what anymore.
She turns into that winged monster because he broke his promise. If you will, his lover's vow.
No!
Little baby goblins.
The good news is your art's going to go way up in value in about 2 minutes.
That seals our destiny.
Crunchy, yummy destiny.
The 3 monsters go whoop through the skylight and onto a building as a fixture.
I hope you've learned your lesson, men. Never tell your wives anything. Back in our framing device, it's time to chop up a little boy.
So I got one more story. It's about a little boy who is trapped, but he's got a pocket full of marbles.
Threw them on the floor? Whoa!
You're all poked in the back. I got the keys. I'm getting me out of the chains here. And you know where you're going, witch?
Suck it! And he schloops her right into the oven.
You're dead!
Don't you just love happy endings?
Merry Christmas!
That was Tales from the Darkside, and here I have my own little cat from hell.
Yes.
Oh, hello. Yes, hello.
Watch out, she'll go in your mouth.
She would never.
Well, you say that now.
We watched it. Were you scared?
Not a second. A lot of times when I see a horror movie, I'm not scared, and then later on, at nighttime, I'll get scared. That's not going to happen here. Yeah.
I don't think these stories are so much about scares as about outrageous gore.
Yes.
It delivers on that.
That's really the only thing, plus a few F words, that differentiate it from just being a TV show.
Well, let's talk about the actors.
James Remar is a weird actor for me because he's a face I recognize, he's a name I recognize. I have no idea what else I've seen him in.
He was the main bad guy in 48 Hours. And he was the scariest human being I'd ever seen. I thought, he's no actor. He's that guy. He does not live up to that in this movie.
No. Well, he's not supposed to be frightening. He's the frightened.
He seems miscast in this role. Kind of like Frederick Forrest in One from the Heart. He doesn't seem like the right guy for the part.
William Hickey's a weird actor for me. I've always liked him, but I just can't figure out if he's good or not.
He's great in Prizzi's Honor.
I have this weird connection with Bill Hickey. The woman who introduced me to my wife trained under Hickey in New York.
Wow.
Yeah, William Hickey was her acting teacher.
So she was like, I'd like to introduce you to a nice girl I know.
Yes.
You want the cookie?
Clumsy exposition is always a pet peeve of mine. And one of these stories has a particular bit that shows up in movies all the time.
Wyatt, you're my agent.
You're my agent! Come on! No one ever says that to their agent.
I don't know if they do. I don't have an agent myself, but I could.
That third story just didn't make a damn bit of sense to me. I'd like to know the Japanese folklore that it's based on. Because it's very similar to stories like The Crane Wife, where a guy meets an animal, and then later on he meets a woman. Yeah. It turns out the woman is the animal.
Ugetsu. There's one of the plots of Ugetsu is a man who runs off with a ghost, and then she's a ghost!
Yeah, I think that's a common theme in that type of folklore. The third one is just silly. When that beast shows up, he's like, do not tell anyone.
If you have that moment in the movie, you don't show the monster's face. If they would have just shown the back of the monster...
You get a flash of the face, but you just hear the talking. You feel the fear that's on the actor's face. I wish that this movie had the forward thinkingness and the budget to just do a version of the actual Arthur Conan Doyle story and have it be a period piece.
Oh, okay.
And the same thing with the Japanese story. I would love to see 3 different stories from 3 different time periods.
So do you remember the Tales from the Darkside TV show?
Yes.
It had this great opening to it. There's this narration. It's very ominous and deep. It's a world just like ours, but not as brightly lit. I always found that funny, even when I was a kid.
We have closed the book on Tales from the Darkside, and now it is time to open the book on Seen It.
Seen It!
Our theme for Seen It tonight, of course, is horror.
Monster face.
Duck Clyde writes, I'm sure you have seen Tucker and Dale versus Evil. Seen it.
Seen it.
It is so easy to believe that the conceit of this film will quickly grow tiresome. It turns out just the opposite. You can't wait until the next thing. You're just like, oh, now he's got a chainsaw. Oh, how's this going to turn out? Oh, now there's a wood chipper.
How is the next kid going to die?
Yeah, exactly.
It's a slasher movie told the other way around, where it's 2 guys who have a shack in the forest and a bunch of kids show up. And the kids all
think that they're these backwoods murderers, but they're just these 2 guys.
Yes. Hilarity ensues.
I have a theory about this movie. I think that Tucker and Dale are gay, but they're not a couple. Tucker understands me. He'll be my roommate.
Yeah.
And someday I'll meet a nice fella.
I have a theory about this movie that it came out at the wrong time. Because it came out right around the same time as another little movie came out called Cabin in the Woods. This weird thing that happens where there'll be two battling movies that come out.
Right.
Cabin in the Woods also turning slasher movie tropes on its head. Natalia White writes, Hereditary. Seen it!
I have not seen it. I've been told by you that it's too scary, and so I'm staying away from it.
I don't know if it's too scary. It is too chilling.
That's enough.
Yeah. A lot of times in horror movies, people die, but you don't get to see people mourn the death of the people. Right. And it is just so catastrophic, the death in this movie.
I remember asking you, is this movie really scary? And you said, oh yeah. So that kept me away from it.
Toni Collette is phenomenal in it.
Yawn.
Yeah, I know. She's always phenomenal, but she's going places I've never seen her go before.
Yeah, she's really great. KJ Matthias, I saw the remake of Cat People, and I have to say that I really do like the original better. Wow, seen it.
Not seen it.
Never even caught a glimpse of it on cable?
No.
It was very sexy back in the day.
I know, and I was like 9 when it was on cable.
Paul Schrader did a really good job in making it his own film, but at the same time making it a remake of the original. He keeps a lot of stuff. The underground pool scene, I think, is a shot-by-shot remake, pretty much. Except in this one, Alice is topless. He has not one, but 2 Luton buses. One of them is actually a bus, and that's not really a Luton bus. It's more of a tongue-in-cheek nod to a Luton bus. The actual Luton bus is a dog.
Cat people, bop, bop, ooh, oh, 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 cat people, oh, oh, oh. Oh, that's fashion. I'm sorry. I get the David Bowie songs mixed up. Sarek the Ninja says, I'm curious if either or both of you have seen Robert Wise's 1963 film The Haunting. Matt's favorite haunted house may be the Overlook Hotel, but mine is Hill House. Seen it.
Seen it.
The Haunting is now my favorite haunted house movie.
Yeah, it's really good.
And unlike the miniseries, which has nothing to do with the book, it's note for note throughout the entire movie, how it should be.
Someone said to me recently, why are ghosts scary? They can't do anything. They're just, woo, why are ghosts scary? That first ghost scene shows you exactly why ghosts are scary. You're hearing things that you're not supposed to be hearing. You're feeling things you're not supposed to be feeling. There's something on the other side of that door. And if that door opens, and if I see what's on the other side of that door, I'm going to just drop dead from fright or go insane. Because whatever's there is not supposed to be there. That's why ghosts are scary.
It's like a childhood fear of like, if I see that, if I open the closet door, it'll be there.
It's just like there's something wrong.
Yeah.
Russ Tamblyn plays a very charming creep.
Yeah.
He'll say something creepy and the women will go, stop it, you, and he'll just go,
I'm rich.
He's somehow likable, and I'm not sure how he pulled that off.
Yes. Robert Wise made it right after he made West Side Story and right before he made Sound of Music.
One for them, one for me, one for them.
Yeah.
Step out of the darkness and into the light of our website. Welcome to thebasementshow.com. You can see all of the episodes we've ever made. Catch up on some of them if you haven't seen them. And also there are PayPal donation buttons you can click on to donate to help support our show, either a one-time or rolling monthly donation.
Do people do this, Matt?
You ask me this over and over again.
I never
always tell you. You never believe me.
I never see any of the money.
It's for the show! All right. People like Kayla, who says, please wish my boyfriend Mike a happy birthday, which is October 7th, just passed. He and I bonded over bad movies and episodes of Welcome to the Basement, and our first date ended with us watching Tough Guys Don't Dance and Mazes and Monsters. We even have Welcome to the Basement movie nights with gifts and all.
Wow.
That's cool.
That's amazing.
She says, I love you, Mike. Happy birthday, baby.
Sorry about the delay. If she didn't get you anything else, this is the present now.
And Joseph, who gave us a generous donation and has a lot of thoughts about the movie Tin Men. Joseph, I don't recall if I've seen that one, but from the way you describe the ending, I think your interpretation of it is accurate.
I have seen Tin Men a number of times, but it was so long ago. One of Barry Levinson's better movies. I believe Richard Dreyfuss and Danny DeVito vying over a woman.
Yeah, that sounds right, yeah.
And it makes it believable that, these two would be rivals.
To find out who the rest of our donors are and to see the exciting contents of our mail crate, you can watch Unboxing, which comes out this coming Friday. Mail, questions answered, records, surprises.
But not as brightly lit.
Thanks for joining us and watching a scary movie, and now you can watch this. That's right, children. Sometimes the gargoyles on buildings get bored, and they come alive for 10 years and have a relationship. But then they become gargoyles again.
I'm going to start a little fire under your chair and roast your nuts.